G'day everyone, it's Doctor Colin here with another pop culture powwow trailer drop review, and today we're looking at the teaser for Power Rangers, which is a film reboot of the TV show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which in itself is a kind of adaptation of the Japanese show Super Sensei. Now, I'm of that generation that grew up with the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I can remember going to school and everyone was talking about this show that I had no idea about because I didn't really watch commercial TV as a kid. So I went home that afternoon and I watched it for the first time and I was hooked. The Red Ranger was my favourite. Jason was the original Red Ranger and he was a badass. He was cool. He was a leader. He was tough. He had a robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex that he drove around in. I mean, the guy was cool. I mean, look at him.
Morphin' time! Tyrannosaurus! Mighty Morphin Power Rangers!
So much to pollute, so little time!
Your polluting days are over, horse face! I'm sending you back to the barn!
What?
Cool. So it was with some trepidation that I sort of heard that they were doing a dark and gritty reboot of Power Rangers, and you know what, I was disappointed, but not in what they chose to do, but what they chose not to do, which is tell people about it. For months and months and months we'd heard nothing at all about what direction they were going in, who the characters were going to be, who they were going to be played by, what the general aesthetic was going to be. The first we really heard about it was a bit of casting news, and then months after that we saw the first shot of Rita Repulsa, which was a very interesting take on the character, and since then we got a whole bunch of different publicity stills and stuff like that, but the teaser trailer that dropped today was probably the first time that we've had anything substantial to give us an indication of what they're going for with this film. So it was more curiosity than anything that drove me to watch it. Watching this trailer, you definitely understand that they're going for something different with their portrayal. I grew up watching a show that was bright and colourful and fun. That's not what they're going for here. This is definitely going for the dark and gritty reboot. But the best way to sort of describe the feel that they're going for is if you took Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man and crossed it with the movie Chronicle and The Breakfast Club, then you're sort of in the ballpark. So watching the first half of the trailer was really a bit of a chore because the characters and the situations are so cliche, and they got the most awful rendition of Walk the Line that I've ever heard, which doesn't even make sense because it's a song about being dedicated to your spouse. It's not really anything to do with robots punching monsters, but I suppose there's probably some symbolic meaning somewhere down the track in the film that we're not aware of yet. But as the trailer sort of moves on, they discover the morphers are embedded in rock, and they blast it out. I don't know how they got access to explosives, but I'm sure that'll be explained in the film. And they realise that the morphers are actually giving them superpowers. And that actually is where I started to get really interested, because yes, they're taking it in a different direction, but they're taking it in a direction that makes it its own thing, which is really good, because when you do a reboot, you don't want to just retread what's already been done. You want to do it in a way that hasn't been done before. Otherwise, why bother rebooting it? But the moment in the trailer that really made me interested in seeing the rest of the film was the first shot of Rita Repulsa. Now that is a really cool bit of film. They're testing kind of the boundaries of what they can do with shots, and I really like when films do that. The transformation sequence of Enchantress in Suicide Squad is another one that really I got the same kind of feeling for, because it defied your expectation of what that character was able to do and what the nature of those powers might be. And obviously they're going to take Rita Repulsa in a different direction, because we can see even in the costume of the character that she's completely different. She's no longer wearing the Madonna bra and living on a moon somewhere. She's this kind of weird, sexy creature that's obviously able to do all kinds of magic stuff. which is really cool. And the other news I heard today was that Goldar is definitely appearing in the film, which is awesome because he was always my favourite of the villains. But they don't really show you the Power Rangers as Power Rangers. In fact, they don't show you them in their suits at all. They show you a glimpse of the morphing sequence at the end of the trailer. That's it. So what it really does is it gets you hooked to find out more. And it worked for me. I actually really enjoyed that sort of section of the trailer. And it gives me hope that this might actually be a good film, because we want to see reboots that are trying to do things that haven't been done before with existing properties. So, you know, as long as they're doing something new and fresh with it, and they're keeping it relevant, that's where these things will succeed. And I think the potential is for Power Rangers to succeed in that way. It's going to be very interesting, and so I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic for this one. But I'll put a link here so that you can go and check out the trailer. I've got another trailer drop review coming out soon, but it's a secret at the moment, so I'm not going to tell you about it too much. All I can tell you is I'm very excited for it. So keep an eye out on my channel, subscribe so you get a notification when it comes available. And remember to check me out on social media as well, because I'm always putting stuff up on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter that you guys will probably find interesting. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.
Zach! Right, these two are mine.